him.
I'm 50 years old, and I've been struggling with addiction for about 35 years. I've been in and out of institutions for pretty much all my life. I started using alcohol when I was about 10, and my first arrest was in 6th grade, and I proceeded from juvenile halls to the youth authority to the prison system from there. I've been using hard drugs pretty much since my upper teen years. I could never pinpoint the time of when it turned in from went from a recreational use, just having a good time, to needing it and having to have it on a daily basis. I have struggled with it for quite some time. I've been in and out of the rooms of recovery for probably 20 years. I went to a few different other programs in the beginning. I tried one program was kind of much loosely based on whatever, just do whatever, you know. And another program was a 12-step based program, which was it was fine. It gave me a certain set of tools, but it didn't teach me what I needed to know. I didn't know how to think properly, because I was raised pretty much in the prison system and on the streets, and I only had one way of thinking. I didn't know how to think as normal people do, quote unquote normal people. I didn't have the capacity to live life on life's terms, as they say. I didn't know how to function as a normal human being on the street. I learned a lot from the 12-step based program. I learned quite a bit, but I didn't know. I just couldn't grasp the reality of it. My turning point was June 24th of 2011. I was arrested one last time for a minor possession, and they wanted to give me life in prison for it. And that was enough to wake me up. That was enough to hit me like a brick upside the head. I've been godless my whole life. I didn't have any kind of a concept of a God or a higher power or anything like that. So I learned to find a God. I learned to have faith and trust in something, that there was somehow something was going to help me out in it. And I think the God of my understanding, seeing that I was pure in my heart at that point in time, that I was done, and granted me an opportunity. The courts didn't want to give me your basic court, like your Prop 36 or any your basic court mandated programs. I was sitting in the county jail, contemplating doing my life in the rest of my prison, when I got a visit from a woman that had no idea who she was. She sat down across from me, and when I asked her who she was, it was her name was Angel. And I don't you know, I had to kind of think about that. Her name was Angel. I didn't really realize at the time that she was my saving angel, my guardian angel. She proposed a program to me, which it sounded really fantastic, but I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to pull it off, to be able to get to the courts to agree to it. The courts didn't want to give me anything but prison time. That was pretty much because of my history, because of my life, even though it was just a minor possession charge. Just because of my history, my track record isn't all that good. But the God of my understanding found a way to get this to sway the judge to give me one more shot at it. And between Angel and Eric, and also Spencer, they proceeded to persuade the judge to give me one more shot. So they released me to the custody of the program, to Serenity Life, and my whole life has changed in such a phenomenal way. I was one of those kind of hardcore dudes that I would look at you and I would make you fear me through intimidation. I came into this program a straight knucklehead. I had no life skills, no people skills. My people skills were prison yard skills. I intimidated people through fear. I would that was what I knew. I didn't know how to communicate with people. So when I came into the program, I was off the hook. I was loud, obnoxious, and again, I only knew, I knew I wanted this. I knew I needed this. I knew there was no way I wanted to go back to prison for the rest of my life. So I opened my mind to what this program has to offer. And from the very first meeting, actually the first week, I learned, I picked up on a catchphrase. It was called the reframing of my thinking. And I latched onto that because it made huge sense to me to be able to rethink, to be able to restructure my thought process. And this program, it's more of a psychological approach to the disease of addiction, and coupled with the 12-step program that I do I also participate in. There's no stopping me. I just completely surrendered myself to the staff and their suggestion. And I think that when I first came into the program, they thought they were going to have a lot of trouble with me. I think that they were aware of my history through the court system, and just my presence. It gave them pause for thought, but I wasn't going to make anybody sorry for giving me the opportunity, for giving me a chance. I learned that there is a better way to live, and this program, Serenity Life, is teaching me so much about myself with the writings and the books that they give you, the groups themselves, we participate in our group meetings, and the things that they bring out for us, the things they teach us, are just phenomenal to me. And for me to be able to learn or pick up or change anything is huge. Everybody that knows me has seen this humongous change in me, and they're just as blown away about it as I am, because I know that I'm not half-stepping. I know that I'm not trying to pull I'm not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. I honestly, wholeheartedly have surrendered myself to this program. Between Eric has so many ideas. He has a lot of beautiful ideas, and he has a lot of experience in the field. He has his own life experiences that he's learned from as well. And Eric has a lot. Eric and Spencer and I all have a lot in common as far as our background, as far as institutions and so forth. Rory is beautiful. He's got so much information on the other plateau, as well as Leroy is just phenomenal. I've learned so much from all of these people. When I first came out of the program, I was in this house for 6 months. The first 6 months of my program. To me, this house was my safe haven. The only people that knew I was here were a few very close people that are backing me in my quest for freedom from my addiction. I refused to let anybody know where I was. I knew that I had to surrender myself to the program. This house was my safety zone. It was a place for me to rethink my whole life. It's calm, it's beautiful. It's there. I had no pressures from the outside. I could work out. I'd go for my morning run, and I could participate in my program. I had plenty of food to eat here. It's just this house, just being in this house was safe to me. I've learned, like I said, I've come such a long way. I've not only cleaned up my appearance, but I've cleaned up my life. I've cleaned up my language somewhat. I've cleaned up a lot of things, but most of all, the golden thing about this is I've not only got my life back, but I'm getting my family back. Today, my mother, with all of her medical issues, she's an elderly woman. I'm able to be there for her. And I don't even question it. I don't flinch. It's my life now. I've taken that on without a flinch. In my history, if my mother got ill, I would pass that off to somebody else. I would just go and hide from it if I was even on the street. Usually, I would be, in prison or something. But today, I'm being of service to people. I'm being I care. These programs taught me to care not only about myself, but about other people. I don't have to intimidate people to get their respect today. All I have to do is show them that I care. And Eric has just been hugely fundamental in this, because he is such a caring person. Everybody, all the staff here, genuinely care about you, and they let you know it on a constant basis. And being surrounded by that kind of love, and it when you take it in, it flows back out. I think that a lot of the other residents were at first intimidated by me, also just by my physical appearance. But once I started, I would genuinely, listen to them and talk with them, which I would never do before. It's changed a lot, and I think that with each other folks seeing me and what I'm doing now, it gives them hope, because I was one hopeless person.